Go. Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Dr. Sarah, the owner and medical director of Lush Lifestyle, and a physician who is deeply passionate about helping women feel strong, balanced, and truly well in all times of their life, but especially during the transition from perimenopause to menopause and beyond. Tonight, we're going to be talking about two things that don't nearly get enough attention in women's health: cardiovascular health and strength training, and how both are dramatically affected by the hormonal shifts that happen in midlife. I am thrilled, beyond thrilled, to be joined by my friend and collaborator, Brittany. She is a powerhouse fitness and performance coach who's going to help us understand the importance of strength training, give us practical ways to do it without having to spend hours in the gym. And if you're like me, I don't have hours to spend in the gym. Listen, ladies, are you ready? Because if you're not, you need to get ready. Okay, I think you're ready. Here is the truth. These are the cold, hard facts. Cardiovascular disease is the number one cause of death in women older than 55. You heard that. Number one cause of death. 1 in 3 women will die from cardiovascular disease. 1 in 3. Look around the room at your friends. 1 in 3. And that is more than the number of women that die from all cancers combined. And what is one of the biggest culprits? Loss of estrogen. Estrogen protects the cardiovascular system. It keeps blood vessels flexible, helps regulate cholesterol, reduces inflammation, it improves insulin sensitivity. So when estrogen starts to decline in perimenopause and continues to drop and drop and drop until menopause, that puts us at huge risk. That puts us at risk for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, the bad kind, right? It puts us at risk for visceral fat accumulation, which is belly fat, ladies. That's right. And none of us want belly fat. We puts us at risk for insulin resistance. It puts us at risk for chronic inflammation. And we know all of these things put together equals loss of longevity, which equals what? Honestly, loss of years of our life. We are not just talking about hot flashes, right? That's what people think when they say, oh, menopause, perimenopause. That is not what we are talking about. We are talking about loss of life, okay? It is not just getting older, it is a hormonal shift, and we need to talk about it. Whether you're 30, you're 60, 70, or 80, think back about the days, whether you're in your 30s and you're feeling this now, or your 60s and 70s and you felt this. You had that time in your late 30s, 40s where you're like, oh, I'm doing everything right, but I'm feeling wrong. I'm tired. I'm foggy. I'm gaining weight. I'm snapping at people that I love. I'm wondering where the heck my motivation and mojo went. This isn't personal failure, ladies. This isn't, oh, you're a busy mom, or now you retired, so, you're just tired all the time. No, this is hormonal changes. If you're in that younger group, it's perimenopause. That can be a 10 to 15-year hormonal roller coaster before actual menopause hits. What is happening? Right? Your body is feeling that level, the changing levels of estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. They are dropping slowly and steadily until one day the ovary says, I'm done. I'm not making any more estrogen. And that is menopause. Okay. However, the effects of having that low estrogen have been affecting us since we were in our 30s and in our 40s. 75% of women experience symptoms of perimenopause or menopause. We already know the hot flashes. We already know the night sweats. But what about the poor sleep? What about the brain fog? What about the belly fat? What about the low libido, right? What about fatigue and burnout? And what about muscle loss? This, ladies, is a treatable transition. You do not have to tough it out. You don't have to wait until it's over because it's natural. We have solutions. One of the solutions that we have is hormone replacement therapy if you're in menopause, or hormone therapy if you're in perimenopause, because in perimenopause, we just augment the hormones. But like I said, once those ovaries are kaputs, that's it. We need to fully replace that. Hormone therapy or hormone replacement therapy is a very powerful tool that we can use to help that transition of those hormones so we're not getting those bad side effects. We can improve our sleep, we can sharpen our memory, we can boost our energy, right? None of us want to get dementia, right? And why does dementia affect 4 times more women than men? Because men don't lose estrogen, okay? They don't lose estrogen. But HRT or HT can also support our lean muscle mass and can increase our metabolism. It is one of our very powerful tools that we have in this process of our life. But each and every one of you out there is holding a secret weapon, okay? Drum roll, please. That weapon is, it's sitting there with every single one of you right now. That weapon is muscle, okay? When estrogen dips, muscle also takes a hit. And this is a huge problem because muscle is metabolic gold. I would argue metabolic platinum, right? If we have strong and healthy muscle, we are going to burn more fat. We're going to balance our sugar. We're going to support our joints. We're going to strengthen our bones. We're going to improve our mood and our brain function. Hear me when I say strength training is not optional. It is your midlife superpower. I want you to stop and I want you to listen to that and say that again. Strength training is not optional. It is your midlife superpower. And no, you don't need to spend 2 hours at a gym to get there, okay? I am pumped to welcome an amazing fitness and performance coach, Brittany. She's a total baddie who's going to break down exactly how to build strength at home. Easy, right? You don't gotta be lifting that barbell. Get results with short strategic workouts. One thing I love about Brittany is she makes this doable, fun, and seriously, seriously effective. Brittany, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sarah. And kind of like what Dr. Sarah has been saying, just strength training is a non-negotiable in midlife. And even if you're not a gym person, okay? And one of the things that Dr. Sarah and I completely agree on, there's a lot of things, but one of the things, especially when it comes to health and wellness, is that holistic approach. And with that being said, strength training is part of that holistic approach. So let's start with that truth. Strength training is essential, again, just like Dr. Sarah said, in midlife, not just for looking good, but for staying well. So, starting around the age of 30, we begin to lose muscle mass and strength at a rate of 3 to 8% per decade. Per decade. Okay, so after menopause, this loss accelerates due to that hormonal changes, particularly in that drop in estrogen. And again, like what Dr. Sarah said, is a key role in muscle and bone maintenance. So this means by the time we reach our 50s, many women begin to feel weaker, slower, and more fatigued, not because of aging alone, but because muscle isn't being stimulated regularly. So what happens when we don't strength train? All right. As women, we are more prone to osteoporosis. So we have a increased risk of osteoporosis and fractures, joint instability and falls, decreased metabolic rate and insulin sensitivity, more fatigued, more brain fog, and greater difficulty recovering from stress. So what happens when we do add strength training? So we're going to improve that bone density. Studies show that women who strength train have denser bones than those who don't. So, what strength training does is going to stimulate bone growth, which ends up going into that bone density. Remember, ladies, we're more prone to osteoporosis, so this is a must to counteract that osteoporosis. Stronger muscles are going to support better posture, reduce that back pain, which is one of those number one complaints, especially in physical therapy. I will say I'm about to be a physical therapist, hopefully in January. So I am going to be preaching a lot of that rehab and prehab as well. And then it's just going to keep you active, right? So this is, building that confidence in that capability in those daily tasks as you get older. So this isn't just about, again, looking well. It's when we're hitting that 60, 70, 80, we're able to get out of the car, walk up the stairs, play with your kids, being able to, go from your couch to up to standing or getting on and off the toilet. These are functional daily tasks. And here's the best part, strength training doesn't mean you need to be in the gym or lift super, super heavy weights. Okay. Ladies, I'm going to preach this all the time and probably until the day I die. If you lift super heavy, it is not going to turn you into the Hulk or Arnold Schwarzenegger. So challenge the weights, okay? So I want you to challenge it enough where it's challenging your muscles through resistance. So whether it's body weight, resistance bands, or just dumbbells, all of it counts. We just need to stimulate the muscles. And what matters most is consistency. All right, strength training is that foundation of health in midlife. It's not optional. It's your insurance policy for that independence, especially as you get older. So, how can you fit it in even with a full plate and zero time? Okay, right? Like, yes, we all have 24 hours in the day, but we're all so busy. Okay, so let's get practical. You don't need a perfect schedule, a gym membership, or even 30 minutes of uninterrupted minutes to benefit from strength training. So, research from the American College of Sports Medicine shows that as little as two 20-minute strength sessions per week, so that's only 40 minutes, less than an hour, can significantly increase muscle strength and metabolic health, especially in middle-aged adults. So, how can you fit this in? Think micro doses. So 5 to 10 minute exercise snacks 2 to 3 times a day. So squats while cooking, even though that's not necessarily something that I do, but that is an option. Or push-ups on the, bathroom counter or calf raises when you're brushing your teeth. Just think those little, just getting movement in throughout that day. Another thing to do is use compound movements. So compound movements is doing an exercise across two joints. So squats, which is going to do that hip and knee. Push-ups, which is going to be the shoulders and the elbows. Lunges, again, hip and knee. Rows. So what the compound movements are going to do is that is going to work multiple muscles at once, essentially saving you time. And then let's also stack it with habits. So pair exercise with things that you already do. For example, after your morning coffee, do a 5 minute circuit. And this is called habit stacking, and it's a concept from BJ Fogg's Tiny Habits that boost follow through, right? Like we want that follow through. And start 2 times a week. So anytime that we want to get into this health and wellness journey, we're always gung ho and we're like all or nothing. And we just want to just jump into the deep end. But one thing I will tell you from working with multiple clients is that after about a couple weeks, we start letting that go to the back burner because we get burnt out. So we want to start with 2 times a week. This alone, again, going back to those 2 times of 20-minute exercises, that alone can improve your strength, your posture, and your energy. And then add more each week or only if it works for your life. Okay, something is better than nothing. And that is another thing that I always tell my clients is something is better than nothing. And then reframe that mindset. So think of movement as a energy multiplier, not a time drain. So 15 minutes of strength work can make you feel clearer, more capable, more energized, making you more productive for the rest of the day. So I also want you to reframe that mindset as I get to instead of I have to. And you don't need to, find time. All you really need to do is design small, meaningful moments of movement throughout your day. And that's where the transformation is going to begin. So, quick, effective strategies to feel stronger, sharper, and more like you. So, let's keep it simple, doable, and effective. So, let's focus on foundational movements. So, these are going to target multiple muscle groups, build the strength, and improve your posture. So, squats, again, is that compound movement, and that's going to train your legs and glutes and mimic everyday movements like sitting and standing. And ladies, I'm going to tell you squat or not squats. Well, squats are always good, but the booty is the powerhouse of your body. All right. I always say this, nobody rapped about a small butt, but I'm going to tell you right now, we got to build more than just looking nice in a pair of jeans, all right? Building those glutes are going to be a powerhouse movement because it's going to mimic those everyday movements, again, like standing and sitting. Push-ups, we could start off, on the wall, and then as we get, stronger, work on that incline or on the floor, and it's going to help strengthen that chest, those arms, and that core. Bent over rows are like band rows. So these are going to be like those pull exercises that improve that posture and then that upper back strength. And then planks. So there's obviously a couple different ways that we could do this, but it's essentially going to build your core endurance and then support that spinal health. So when I say core, I don't want you thinking just about that six pack. Your core is thinking of it like the corset of your body. It's essentially, right under your chest all the way down to your pubic area. Okay. So a simple way that we could do this or implement this is like a 10-minute circuit. Again, you don't need to go for like crazy, okay? Set your timer for 10 minutes, do 10 squats, 10 push-ups, wall or on the floor, whatever you feel comfortable with. 10 rows, 30-second planks. Repeat that 2 to 3 times and then rest as needed. Just set that timer and then just move. That's all you really have to do. One thing that I do want to add on to this, though, is a lot of people will just focus on, oh, well, I worked out for 30 minutes. I don't need to do anything else for the rest of the day. And that is where I want to say no. The research shows that we need to continue adding in those movement snacks throughout the day. So, every hour, walk around the house or walk around your work for 2 to 3 minutes. One thing that we say a lot in physical therapy is motion is lotion, and it's essentially getting that muscle pump into the joints to help get that motion going. Okay. So for walking, let's aim for 7 to 8 steps daily. All right. And because walking is going to improve that fat metabolism, that joint mobility, and that cognitive clarity. And especially when you're outdoors, that fresh air is going to do wonders for you. Okay. And then sleep and recovery is still super, super important. Like I said earlier, Dr. Sarah and I, we like to approach health and wellness in a holistic aspect. So sleep is a crucial because it's crucial for hormone balance and muscle recovery. So strength is built during rest and just not working out. Okay. And lastly, one thing I want you to take away is track your non-scale victories. All right. So can you carry those groceries all in one trip now? Are you less winded climbing up the stairs? Is your mood better after lifting? And again, as we get older, we want to mimic those movements of being able to go up the stairs, getting in and out of a car, and it is all due to having muscle and strength training. So most importantly, celebrate your strength. This is not about changing your body to meet a standard. It's about coming back to home, okay? Coming back to living the life that you deserve. So strength training connects you with your power, your purpose, and your energy all the way as we get into our 70s, 80s, and 90s. And with that being said, I'm going to give it back to Dr. Sarah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Brittany. That was some powerful, powerful information. And I do want to hit on a few things that she said. Ladies, start small. Start anywhere. I don't care where it is. Start today. And she makes good points. Make it a habit. Brittany talks a lot about habit stacking. How do things become permanent? When we do them over and over and over again, why do we need to be consistent? There is nobody watching or listening to this that cannot do a wall push-up. Okay? There you go. You're standing at the wall. Start there. Add it in after your morning coffee or something you're doing. If you're still a working woman, get up, set your clock for every hour. Get up and do a lap around. Do 10 squats. Or here's one that I actually do at the hospital. Every time I go to the restroom, I do 10 squats in the bathroom. And I watch myself in the mirror. I mean, it's corny, I know, but it's okay. It's habit stacking, right? And I drink a lot of water. So throughout the day, I could do 50, 60 squats. I mean, that's not nothing, right? Start small. You can do it. And Brittany told you, you don't have to. Two 20-minute sessions a week. You can do 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, but you have to do it. It is not optional. It is not negotiable. It is your key to longevity. It is your insurance policy, as Brittany said. It is. Let's recap what we talked about tonight, right? We covered the real truth about what's happening to us in perimenopause and menopause. Our hormones are declining, then they stop, and everything is haywire. Our cardiovascular risk increases dramatically. One in three ladies will die from cardiovascular disease. And strength training isn't optional. It is your midlife superpower, okay? Brittany showed us we don't have to go to the gym for 2 hours. We can accomplish this at home, quick, 5-minute things, but we don't accomplish what we don't start. Okay. And remember, we don't have to just deal with this. We have the power. You have all the tools that you need to increase longevity and to live a long and long and long and long healthy life. With that, I want to thank all of you for your participation tonight. We hope that you found this information valuable. And we are excited to tell you that you are going to receive an email from us in the next 20 or 30 minutes. If you are watching this pre-recorded, all you have to do is comment me in the comments, and we're going to send you the free guide, and we're going to send you our contact information. In that email, you are going to get a free hormone guide from Lesh. I'm gonna talk to you about perimenopause and menopause and just basic guides on what those look like and how to get started. And I'm gonna send you what's also very valuable about this email is that you're going to get all of my contact information and all of Brittany's contact information. That's our Instagrams, our YouTubes, our websites, the link to Brittany's store, right? And what we ask of you, we do have a big ask, okay? We ask that you like, you share, and you follow us, that you help us get this information out to all women that could benefit. We are on a personal journey to help and empower as many women as possible. And this is something that you have tremendous power to help us with. Tell your friends, share our Instagrams, share our YouTube shorts, share this video, and help bring them on board so we can help as many women as possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Midlife is not your downfall, it is your power move. Let's lift heavy, protect our hearts, and thrive together. Until next time, stay well.